What's going on, everyone? This is City Wrestling Radio, November 21st, 2022. I'm your host, Korey Smith, being joined in the new and improved Diamond Studios, hopefully in crystal clear HD for you at home, by my main roster mate and yours at home, Mr. Jose Ocegueda.
How's everybody doing? How are you doing, Mr. Smith? I'm doing very well. Looking forward to feasting this week, right?
Feasting, yes. We got a lot to be thankful for this week. You know, this week we weren't on last we've run into a couple snafus. That's why, you know, we're doing a whole new video recording system, yada yada,
new
jargon
presentation for everyone. Yeah.
But you know, this week has been good. There's been a lot of things going on. AEW Full Gear happened, but personally speaking, I'm a little bummed out today, Jose. I'm gonna take it there. I gotta mention it, man. Jason David Frank.
Yeah.
I just the hearing him, you know, when you see your childhood hero pass away, especially to alleged suicide, you know, it sucks. But
yeah.
You know,
mightiest the Rangers, yeah.
You know, you're a little older than me, so I mean, I don't think you have that same kind of connection to the Power Rangers that people of my generation do.
I don't have the connection that your generation does, but I'm very well aware. I was still young enough to enjoy the original Power Ranger crew, right? Yeah. Grew out of it a little bit earlier than some of you guys. But he was part of that original, not the original starting five, right? But he was your, high quality six man that came in and changed the show.
Absolutely. And
for the better, by the way.
And, I was talking to people about him. Everyone's like, oh, he was my favorite Power Ranger. I was like, oh, he was everyone's favorite Power Ranger. Like, yeah. There's no getting around that. Dude was like, he was the heel that turned babyface. You know what I mean?
I was just about to say that. Yeah.
So exactly. It's like, I don't know. I think for anyone, especially for myself going through depression and having ADHD issues when I was a kid, somebody who's like being like under mind control, it's like, it's kind of similar to what you're going through as a kid. But
yes, I get it. Yes.
Like, I know what you're going through. My mind tells me things too that I don't want to do. Anyways, we're not here to make you sad, but RIP Jason David Frank. We're here to talk about this week in pro wrestling because the devil has been crowned king in AEW at Full Gear. Stone Cold Steve Austin gives us an update on what he's training for, and Kenny Omega, he's set to return to New Japan Pro Wrestling. But before we get into all of that, don't forget to just help us out, just a little bit. Like, it's Thanksgiving, and there's plenty to be thankful for. But we're thankful for you at home, the listener. You sitting right there, eating whatever delicious food your family made. It's great, isn't it? Your mom makes great food, and your dad, wow, he does a great. What did dads do during things? Carved turkeys, right?
Carved turkeys make great jokes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the fart he let out during that Green Bay game. Woo!
Oh, Dad. Oh my God. But nonetheless, help us, help you, help us, help you. It's an ongoing circle to be thankful for. But like, share, subscribe, and let the world know about City Wrestling Radio, because the better we get, the better the show gets. It's already proven here now that we're on Riverside.
Yeah. And you don't want to ruin a Thanksgiving dinner with talk about politics or religion. What you want to do is talk wrestling or your favorite wrestling podcast, which is City Wrestling Radio.
Yeah. But let's get into it, Jose. AEW Full Gear happened this weekend. First off, what did you think about the show overall?
Maybe I'm not getting used to good shows. So I thought it was great. It was outstanding. Was it
really
legendary? No, it was fun. It was really, really fun. It was an outstanding show. I think we're watching too much WWE nowadays.
Yeah.
And they're ramping up. They're getting good. I'm not taking anything away from them. But this is exceptional pay-per-view. I really liked it. I really enjoyed it.
I thought it was good. I did think it was a show that had ebbs and flows. I did think there were points where it was just like, what? Like,
okay, I thought it was just me. Okay.
What is going on? Like, and I'm not even talking about like the MJF and like the Stokely Hathaway, the firm. What the hell's going on there? I don't know, but it was also at the same time super predictable. I feel like we're getting to this point where everything that happens in AEW is just going to be the thing that was talked about the week before, or the weeks leading up to this show in whatever popular podcast is most popular that week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it's like you hear for weeks, oh, well, this is how I think it should go. Da, 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 da. And then all of a sudden, that's exactly what it is. And it's just like the whole MJF stuff, like Regal giving him the brass knucks. I was like, okay, we saw this coming for weeks. Like, it was slapped in our face, like WWE used to be like, you know, just like, well, oh my God, what's he doing? Is he turning his back on him? He is,
Yeah. Well, don't you think that a lot of this can be attained to a CM Punk reaction? So they're kind of pumping the brakes, right?
I mean, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I just maybe they're
Tony has been going through a lot of criticism, so I'm thinking, let's just go paint by numbers for a little bit.
okay. Let's
the Ray Phoenix stuff was good.
Yeah, let's get into it. Let's get into the whole show. Okay, so it kicked off with Luchasaurus versus Jungle Boy, and well, I'm gonna start by saying this: it was a good match.
Fun.
It was a fun match. Jungle Boy, he really shined in this match. Yeah, more so in this match than I think he has in any other match leading up to this, in my opinion.
I agree. Yeah.
But also, in my opinion, I don't think this was the best match to start the show. Like, I mean, comparatively, when I really thought about it and I was writing these notes, because that's how I was watching it. I was watching it as this, okay, what can open the show? And I thought, like, maybe the tag match could, or the trios match could. But with the Elite losing, that might have deflated the crowd. But I really think the ROH title match should have opened the show. Like, I know people are like, how are you going to have a world title match open the show? But, I mean, it's not an ROH show.
You're talking about the Jericho match, yeah.
Yes. I'm sorry. But either way, it was a cage match between the two. Parts of the match really drew me in, but I feel like there were kind of like no music in between a lot of the notes. Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy Jack Perry did give it their all. Jungle Boy was busted open early in the match. There was a spot, though, where the cage door was opened, and Christian opens it, and he's ejected. But even though it took, like, how many referees to take out a one-armed Christian?
Yeah.
Jungle Boy goes out there to take out Christian, and so does Luchasaurus. And I'm just, like, screaming at the screen. What is the point of the cage? Like, what's the point? Like, why is the cage is just there to as a weapon?
No. It's barring interference.
Okay, but they're outside the cage now, and you know what I mean? Like, there's no like.
But it's still no DQ match, right?
Yeah, I get the whole, I don't like the whole escaping the cage to win. That's not my favorite. I get it.
And this wasn't that match, yeah.
I get it, and that's not what AEW does. That being said, there should be some sort of rule that if you leave the cage, you lose the match.
Okay.
That's what I think, because
that's
how
no
else are you
reasoning.
going to keep him in? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, maybe he could have done something where he slammed the door open on Christian and it knocked him back, or they could have done it differently. You know what I mean? And even risking, like, oh my God, if Jungle Boy leaves the cage, he's going to lose this match. What's he doing?
Yeah.
But nonetheless, Jungle Boy does hit a pile driver on the big dinosaur at one point in the match, which Luchasaurus really, it looked really funny because Luchasaurus just went straight up in the air like he was doing a handstand, and Jungle Boy just kind of fell down.
There was a lot of that in this pay-per-view, right?
Yeah. Jungle Boy put Luchasaurus through a table by hitting him with an elbow drop off the top of the cage, almost missing Luchasaurus and the table completely.
Well, his ribcage didn't miss. Did you see afterwards when he was celebrating that big bruise he had on his side?
Well, I think that's where he hit. Yeah, that's where he hit the table, the edge of the table. Yeah. Jungle Boy applied the snare trap, and he gets the submission victory over Luchasaurus. It was a fun match, but like I said, there were a few things that I wanted to point out about it. Next up, the Elite versus Death Triangle Trios title. I don't know. What can we say about an Elite versus Death Triangle match? You know,
that we haven't said already. Yeah,
that everyone, you know, it's like I could sit here and well, they did a twisting, modified, fucking assisted, triple, double, double. You know,
yeah.
double sit. What's that? Double check, discount double check. You know, remember that?
yeah.
Discount double check. That's what that's what this match was. It was triple check though. But it was a great match. The Elite came out to Carry On My Wayward Son.
I don't like that.
Well, here's the thing. Some thought this was a diss to CM Punk.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Carry On My Wayward Son. May your weary head rest. Don't cry no more.
Yeah.
I thought it was too subtle to be a diss. You know what I mean?
It wasn't a diss track. Yeah.
Yeah. Although Kansas did come out and they were like, hey, Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, thumbs up on Twitter. And then apparently Carry On My Wayward Son went way up in the iTunes charts.
Oh my God. Yeah, I'm sure.
There was a lot of high flying flippy shit in this match because of course there's going to be. It was great to see the Elite back. Yeah. See, here's the thing. I can't sit here and I've always given the Bucks credit where credit is due, but I've never been a fan of the Bucks. You know what I mean? They've kind of always been these arrogant kind of SoCal dudes. Even when I met them, like at a meet and greet, yeah, maybe Matt was tired. Nick was super nice, but Matt was kind of like, oh, hey, what's up, dude? I'm just like, where he seemed super into everyone else, whatever. But like, I never was like super into them. But ever since the whole CM Punk fight, like, I'm like 100% behind them. I fucking love them now. Like, they went and handled business. You know what I mean? And to me, I think it's awesome. So for weeks, Pac has been trying to convince Fenix and Penta to cheat to win, leading into this match, coming out of separate tunnels because you know that matters in AEW.
Yeah.
But in the end, so after there was a point where Pac threw I don't know why he just carries around that hammer.
It looks like a chisel.
It's the ring bell hammer, but at the same time, it's like isn't somebody in the back like
Jesus?
Isn't like Tony Khan like, hey, we pay for that Pac or like I don't know. It's just
Who's
a
keeping
random
inventory
weapon.
of these things.
Yeah,
come on, you guys. We're only supposed to have two.
It's like when Stevie Ray had the slapjack, you know.
Oh my God. Okay, let's not talk about that.
But Fenix first refuses to use the hammer, of course, but then
as he has been for weeks, yeah.
Yeah, and but towards the end of the match, Fenix receives a V trigger and almost gets lifted up for the one-winged angel, but before getting lifted up, Fenix is tossed the chisel, hammer, bell, whatever it is, and strikes him in the head and rolls up Kenny Omega to retain the titles. Jose, what did you think about this match?
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, because everyone thought that like the Elite are going to come back, get their titles back, you know, whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. That was the surprise there, and being so early, you think that they would kick off the show and bring everybody's energy up, which they did anyway.
Yeah. Well, if they were going to win, I think that would have been the great opening match. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah, but it did its job. It told a story. Now we have a heel Fenix that we've never had. We've had a heel Penta. We had a heel. We still have it. Is he heel or is he in between?
Pac?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's super heel. He comes out
totally
the
right.
fucking left side, man.
Yeah. So now you see after the match, Penta was telling Ray, "No, man, it's all right. It's all right. We won, right? We won. Ganamos." And Ray was like, "Yeah, you're right. All right, let's go."
Fenix is like, I don't know, man. It'll lead to a Fenix Penta match eventually, or a Fenix Pac match, you know?
Yeah. Totally.
So next up, Nyla Rose versus Jade Cargill.
Ouch.
I mean, this is where a lot of people really said the match came to a screeching halt. What did you think of this match?
The pay-per-view came to a screeching halt. Yeah, I mean, you have a Nyla Rose that I don't want to take anything away from her. You know, she's a professional, but not the sharpest of workers, right? And then you have Jade, who's pretty green herself right now. And that's not a combination you want to see in a major pay-per-view. Maybe on a Wednesday night, sure. but not on a pay-per-view. I'm sorry.
Yeah, see, I don't know. It's one of those things. Okay. Like I said, this is where a lot of people said the show came to a screeching halt. But Jade, I still think she looks like $1,000,000. You know?
Yeah, 100%.
And not every... And see, a lot of people watch wrestling and they're like, everyone has to be this top tier Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay type performer, which we'll get into those two later. But I don't... It's not necessary. You know what I mean? Yeah. Jade's there she's there for her looks and there to get better over time. Because she fucking looks great. She's coming out cosplaying as She-Ra. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I don't know. Like, to me, I think she gets too much flack.
Yeah. Chitara this week, I think, right? Is that her name?
Was that Chitara? I thought it was She-Ra. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, it's from Thundercats.
Yeah. Maybe
I am Chitara.
Nyla did come out in a lowrider with Vicky Guerrero. Not Guerrero. There probably is a Vicky Guerrero out there somewhere.
I'm sure there is.
And I don't know. I think they need to pull the trigger on Nyla and a face turn. I think it's time. Like she has lost all credibility as a heel. Like, she doesn't seem vicious. She doesn't seem malicious. She doesn't seem.
She's a little too happy, right?
Yeah, and if you've ever watched her on a vlog, which she's on the Ethan Page Toy Hunt vlog all the time, she's fucking hysterical. You know, she's like picking up Rock, but like, oh, look at doofy face Rock, you know, making jokes about everything. And I just think she would come off like a great like baby face in the company, and they need to pull the trigger on that.
Okay, yeah, because it's getting tiring.
So Nyla did get some offense in this match, eventually hitting a Jaded on Jade, but as Linkin Park said, in the end, it doesn't even matter because Jade gets the pump kick and hits the Jaded on Nyla, and her win streak goes up to 42-0.
Yay!
Next up, Sammy Guevara versus Bryan Danielson versus Claudio Castagnoli versus Chris Jericho for the Ring of Honor World title. So, okay, this was a great match. Probably match of the night so far. And the fans, okay, hear me out. The fans were actually into Sammy. The live fans were into Sammy. I'm calling it. They can't say they weren't. I heard them. I heard you guys. Don't lie to me.
You heard me.
So, it was a classic situation. This match was a classic situation where two teams are pinned against each other, but every man for themselves. And, you know, both teams did go at it at times. Claudio and Danielson would fight back and forth, but they would do it in a respectful manner. They would shake each other's hands and then eventually fight. Whereas Sammy and Jericho would just completely turn on each other.
Yeah, and be in the most nasty ways, too.
So there's one point where Sammy and Jericho, you know, they've been fighting in this match, but they hug it out. And this is where Guevara hits Jericho with the GTH, and the fans start to fucking get up. He gets up, hits the moonsault, goes for the 2 count, and I have never heard AEW fans want Sammy Guevara to win more than right there.
You think it's because he didn't have his wifey next to him?
I mean, I don't think. I mean, that could be because I think.
But it was performance. It was a lot. Performance,
yeah. I do think that does play a factor into the hate for him. Not gonna lie, the whole situation with whoever he was, you know, his ex, and now who he's with now. But the end of the match saw Claudio Castagnoli spinning Guevara, Jericho leaping over both of them, hitting a Judas effect on Claudio, hitting another one after that, and getting the pin on Claudio. This is a fucking great match. What did you think, Jose?
Yeah, dude, fun. I had a blast. I was having dinner at the time.
Yeah.
There was a couple times where I dropped my fork, like, oh my God.
Yeah. No, it was great.
And you didn't need all that splashy backflips and, you know, triple kicks and crazy shit. It was your standard 4-way.
Well, that's the thing is, like, as where that 6-man tag match was just, like, constant, like, everyone's flipping around. This match, like, yeah, you saw Guevara flipping. You saw, you know, Claudio doing some stuff, Jericho doing some stuff, but there was a good mix of everything in this match.
Yeah, it was more of a wrestling match, a classic wrestling match, right?
And Claudio has really, I think, become one of my favorite wrestlers in the past couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
It was also announced later in the night, that Jericho will be facing Ishii this week. Then we go to our next match. Ooh. So, okay, Jose, I know my mom taught me if I have nothing nice to say,
Okay.
get a podcast. No, if I have nothing nice to say, don't say anything else. And I want to preface this by saying, Saraya did look good for somebody who hasn't been in the ring for 5 years. She is way better than me. I can't sit here. I have no wrestling skills. You know what I mean? Can't sit here. She's probably better than 50% of the wrestlers out there in the world.
Dude, if I take one bump, I'll be sore for 2 weeks.
Exactly. She's great at what she does. That being said, there's still some ring rust here.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of ring rust here.
Yeah. And I'm sure they were being overly cautious, too.
Are they? Because they're playing up that whole neck injury stuff in the match. And
you see those curb stomps that she took?
Yeah,
she took
and
two.
the Brit
But
hitting
weren't.
like the twisting neck breaker to the ground. I don't know. If they're being cautious, I just felt like they weren't on the same page. I just felt like there was constant miscommunication because there were even spots where they're running and they don't know what they're doing. They get lost in it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sitting here saying Saraya is a horrible wrestler. I think she can be great again. It's just going to take some time, and I think more training. And the fact that she was cleared 2 weeks ago, to take bumps, it says to me that how much training could you have done leading up to this?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? For
She
5
definitely
years.
needs to get her timing back.
Yeah. So as we said, Baker's focusing on the neck, whatever. So there was a point where there was a very sloppy sunset flip power bomb too, which I don't know. The end of the match saw 2 cradle DDTs to Britt, and then that was it.
Mm-hmm.
And it just ended.
I'm glad it did.
Well, yeah, but there was no build to that end. It was just 2 cradle DDTs. No one knew that was her finisher. No one knew that the match was about to end. It just ended. And for Britt Baker, someone who was supposed to be this top competitor, what? That doesn't make that okay. I know you're trying to put Saraya over.
Yeah, it came off very exhibition match.
Yeah.
We're doing this for charity, you guys.
Exactly. And Saraya looks good though. She's emotional coming out. Good for her.
She looks She looks great. She looks in shape, but she looks in shape, but she's out of shape. Maybe didn't have the wind to keep up with Baker.
The cardio maybe. I don't know. Yeah.
Everything was really calculated, really slow. Every time she got up, it was really
Yeah. Well, we move on to our next match, where it's a match.
Every show needs a piss break. Every show.
A Pitts break? A Britt break?
Piss break.
Well,
I have
it
to
sucks that Britt
enunciate.
Baker has to be in that Pitts
Still
break
late.
match,
Yeah.
So, next up, big, meaty meat men slapping meat around. That's the best way to describe this, man. Because it's Powerhouse Hobbs versus Samoa Joe versus Wardlow. And, well, okay. Hobbs gets a ton of offense on this match on Samoa Joe and Wardlow. But, okay, the end of this match, it was just offense here, offense there. Nothing to really point out until the end of the match, where the end of the match sees the Powerbomb Symphony to Will Hobbs. And then, okay, so Will Hobbs is down after taking the Powerbomb Symphony. Samoa Joe gets in the ring, hits Wardlow with the TNT title, and then just puts Hobbs in the Coquina Clutch, and then the ref just calls for the bell automatically. What? That's the weirdest thing ever.
It blamed the ref. The timing of that call, right?
Okay, so it just, if Hobbs was already out though, it's not like Joe put the hold on and was laying there for 30 seconds, while Hobbs was fainting.
Mm-hmm.
He puts the clutch on, and 2 seconds into the hold, the ref's just ring the bell.
And did you notice the reaction on Hobbs' face? Was he struggling or anything, or was he just
he
dead?
seemed like he was out.
All right, then Legit call.
Yeah, it should have been called for Wardlow. You know what I mean? Or that the finish of that match should have been different. You know what I mean? They should have had Hobbs fighting a little bit for it. Nonetheless, Hobbs needs to win that TNT title soon, and that's
The TNT title? You don't think he's going to get the? I'd rather see him win the TV title.
so okay. I think they're getting rid of the TNT title.
Oh, really?
They have Rampage on TNT. You know what I mean? And is it on TNT or is it on TBS? It's on TNT, right? I still think
TBS is on. Yeah, it's on TNT.
Dynamite's on TNT.
Dynamite's on TBS. Yeah.
So, like, I don't know. They have a TBS title too, a TNT title, which they only have a 1 hour show on. I think they should merge those titles together. Just create the television title. Just
don't associate any federation with it. Just call it the television title.
Yeah, World Television Championship. You know what I mean? And just go from there, because
I'm down with that. Yeah, I could get it.
there's already too many belts in AEW. You know?
No, this is Ring of Honor. This is different.
You know what I mean?
I'm devil's advocate. Devil's advocate.
Yeah. Next up, this is where Ishii was announced to versus Jericho on Wednesday night. Hager and Cassidy also are going to happen soon as well. Orange Cassidy likes Hager's hat. So I think it's the only thing Hager has right now. She's like, I like this hat. Okay, you like the purple bucket hat. Awesome. Sting and Darby versus Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett. Slapnuts himself. What do you think of this match, Jose?
I'm Sting, Mark, so I'm biased already. And Sting's been doing some, I wouldn't say extraordinary stuff, but all these leaps that he's been taking at age 60 is just blowing my mind.
Well, like Sting is really doing, like, he's going above and beyond what we really thought he'd ever be able to do coming back to the ring.
He wouldn't do this when he was in his prime.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, like, I think Sting coming back and doing all this now is really giving a lot of other wrestlers being like, wait, if Sting's doing it, I can do it too. Because now you have Jeff Jarrett back for what? It's for a match.
Jeff Jarrett's never left. Let's be honest.
Well, I mean,
he's
not to the
always
extent that Sting did. You're right.
Yeah.
But I don't know. You're seeing more and more people come back, and Sting is going above and beyond. He's jumping off fucking ladders, whatever. So these four all men fought all over the arena. This is a no DQ match, and Satnam Singh is there basically as the barricade in this match the entire time. We did get a TNA chant because remember the great days of TNA, Jose? Yeah, those were great.
Jesus, TNA. I can't believe they even got the okay and lasted so long with that name. No, it's total nonstop action.
There's a moment.
No, it's not. We know what it means.
There was a lot of stops. There's a lot of stopping action. Darby sets up a ladder on the ramp at one point. He goes for the coffin drop on. Satnam Singh catches him, brings him back to the ring.
That was insane.
Yeah, it was great. We eventually get the guitar shot to Darby while he goes for it. Darby, how many coffin drops did he hit in this match?
Like 4?
3 or 4, yeah.
From different levels.
He goes for a coffin drops, gets hit with the ladder, with the guitar.
Yeah.
The finish of this match, though, like a couple.
Wait. Before we get to the finish, I'd just like to give Sting props for not completely botching that death drop on Jay Lethal.
Oh, when they were
the springboard.
The springboard.
It was a springboard, and then he death dropped Lethal off the spring.
Because I remember there was a point where he did that like suicide dive off of the fans in the crowd.
Yeah,
and he was the only one to like he actually hit it. Satnam Singh's catching everyone, and then Sting hits it, and he doesn't catch it.
Yeah.
I mean, like, he catches him as in, like, he protects him, for sure. But he's, Sting's actually hitting his move, so. But the finish of this match saw Jay Lethal going for the lethal injection, and Sting is supposed to catch him to hit the Scorpion Death.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and then that's when they slip and fell.
He saved that from making it look really, really bad.
I mean, he saved it. It still looked bad.
Oh, I mean, it could have been a lot worse.
Could have been a lot worse.
Because let's not forget, this guy's 60.
And in my opinion, I don't know if Darby was supposed to hit the coffin drop at this point, but I feel like he rushed into the ring and hit a coffin drop and got the pin on Lethal.
Yeah, and didn't get Sting a chance to clear out.
Yeah. In my head, it felt like someone was like, hey, get the fuck in there, do something, finish this match.
We're short on time. Hurry up.
Well, not short on time, but like, I don't know.
This pay-per-view went on like 12 hours.
If that match would have ended with Sting just like, pinning Lethal, it would be kind of like, oh. Okay, some botched move, it ends the match. Mm-hmm. But now you get Darby Allin hitting the coffin drop. There you go. Next match, we saw Jamie Hayter defeating Tony Storm to.
We're not going to talk about the coffin drop to the death drop. Death drop, coffin drop.
Well, okay. Satnam Singh gets Sting gets Satnam Singh up in the Scorpion Death Drop position, and Darby gets on the top turnbuckle to go for the coffin drop, and you can just hear Sting go.
Yeah.
Go! Because he's trying to hold. Because Sting is just like barely standing up. He's like kind of leaning backwards, and Sting's holding up. Sting's like, this is probably the most I hurt in this match.
Holding this big guy up. Yeah,
I could dive off anything right now, but please just fucking go, Darby.
Yeah, I think it was Excalibur that was like, oh, look at he's trying to get out of it.
Yeah, well, yeah, he's like, oh, he's too powerful to hold him in place. Come on.
Yes.
Jamie Hayter, Tony Storm. So, this match, it took a minute to get going, but I feel like once it did, it got going more than most of the other matches in the show.
Yeah.
Because I popped more for the end of this match than I did for any match on this show.
So many finishers.
Well, that's the thing, is there were so many finishers, there was so much interference, but it didn't always lead it. It wasn't just like interference led to a finish. It wasn't a ton of interference lead to a finish. It was interference, go to a finish, kick out, more interference, go to a finish, kick out, So
that's a very New Japan thing, right? Like those these adrenaline boosts that these wrestlers are getting.
Exactly, yes.
Right?
So this match, like I said, fucking great. Tony did break her nose at one point when Jamie just fucking punched her right in the face. And so
a couple broken noses today.
What was it? What's the other one?
It was Pac when he was setting his nose in the corner. He was like, "Oh shit."
So like I said, multiple run-ins. Rebel comes in. She hits Tony Storm with the title. Storm 0 to Storm kick out. Fucking somebody runs in with a sweatshirt on. Turns out to be Britt Baker, and like, I don't know, man. That just felt like the ultimate face thing right there. Like, she came out and she took off the sweatshirt and she had a Jamie Hayter t-shirt on. She pointed out, was like, we're doing this. And it was just like this, fuck yeah, like Britt Baker. Like, you have your friend's back. You're helping her win no matter what. Given it's going to lead to something where it's like, well, I knew I can beat you for the title.
At any time I want.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Keep your friends close and your enemies closer type situation.
Hopefully not. Hopefully, we're going to get a Thunder Rosa Jamie Hayter fight.
Well, whenever the fuck we're getting Thunder Rosa back.
I know.
Jesus Christ. I have heard rumors of talk of, just making whoever is the undisputed champion not having a match. But I don't know. I don't know what's happening. I don't know for sure. Nothing's confirmed.
Spears was talking mad shit on Twitter about it, too.
Who? Sean Spears?
Yeah.
About
so what the hell is an interim champion? There should just be one champion.
Okay. I think if you can't defend your title in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, sure, whatever, a certain amount of time, you should be stripped of the title. And
listen to Jack Tunney over here. You remember Jack Tunney?
Yeah, no, absolutely. My ruling stands. If so-and-so cannot defend the title within 30 days, they will be stripped. And I'm not doing this fucking paying for the title either, like $1 million man.
Yeah.
But I do think there should be some sort of rule, and yeah, maybe work it into the storyline that, like, okay, you're gonna be stripped of the title, but when you come back, you get the first match back
Instant
to
rematch.
whoever the champion is. That makes more sense to me than doing interim champions. Now this interim champion changed hands while the champion was gone.
Yeah. That's insane.
There was an interim TNT title when Cody was out for a week. You know, like
that's where this all came from. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they thought it was fun. Have a title versus title. Which one's the unification match? Just for that gimmick.
That stuff's fine. It's great, but not every fucking week. And that's what it feels like in AEW sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm waiting until eventually the Acclaim Bowens gets really hurt, and then what? We're gonna have interim tag titles too.
Yeah.
You know, that's 4 titles.
And knowing FTR, they're not going to get that title either.
Yeah, they won't get a shot at those titles. I'm still waiting for them to lose all their titles. Anyways, so Jamie Hayter, Britt Baker. The end of the match saw, like I said, Britt runs in, hits a curb stomp on Toni Storm. Throws it back in the ring. It's another kick out.
That was a curb stomp.
Yeah. Oh no.
Onto the title.
Onto the title. Onto the floor. And the end of the match saw Britt Baker taking off one of the turnbuckle pads. Tony is tossed into the turnbuckle. Hayter hits the Haterade, and Jamie Hayter becomes the new interim champion. And I for one of the first times of the show, I counted to 3. You know,
at home, yeah.
Yeah, I threw my hands in the air. I said, "Fuck yeah," because it's really cool seeing someone achieve this level that they've never achieved before too.
Mm-hmm.
You know. And I like how in the post-media scrum they ask her, you know, how does it feel? Does this feeling of being the world women's champion the same like how you thought it would feel? And she said it felt a lot different. She said it feels just a lot more chill and a lot more. This is how things should be, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes me just really happy for her and make me think that she's just ready for this.
Yeah, contender top match of the night.
Absolutely. Next up, the Acclaim versus Swerve in Our Glory. So, the AEW, they've never done the storyline of a team when one person's trying to get the other person to cheat. I don't. Oh wait, sorry, I having the second match tonight. Oh, sorry. I don't know. It's done twice in one show, and I know it's different outcomes on each end. It's not like they went the same route, but.
But see, that's almost going too predictable, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Ray does it, so you're like, there's no way Keith Lee does.
So, Swerve's trying to get Lee to cheat for weeks, but Lee is adamant about not turning heel, and they are trying to swerve us. They swerved us so hard because Keith Lee comes out, and he's wearing the darkest gray attire, and I'm like, oh, this fool's turning heel. He's got a headband on. I was like, what is
his lightsaber's red?
Yeah. Exactly, right? Rita Repulsa is just right behind him, get him, Keith Lee. Ha ha. And it was just, I don't know. It was just funny to me because I was like, oh, he's turning heel. But, they've been working up the past couple of days the injury of Anthony Bowens. I don't know. It was a good match, though. I loved it. What did you think of this match?
I thought it was fun. Even though it was predictable and you knew what was going to happen, the rap was funny. No, but it was a fun match.
Yeah, didn't they went a little longer. They did an extra verse on it.
Yeah. He did an extra 5 bars or whatever.
Towards the end of this match, though, we saw Swerve trying to get Keith Lee to cheat using the pliers, whatever those
ring bell. Oh yeah, no, the pliers.
I think they're the ring pliers, what they do to screw the ring, tighten the ring.
Turnbuckles,
yeah. And Lee throws it to the side. Swerve slaps Lee in the face, and Lee just goes, you got this, man. I'm out of here. In the most Keith Lee way you could ever think of. He's just all right, buddy, I'm going to let you finish this match 2-on-1. I'm going to go hit catering and take a shower real quick.
And didn't they go on a little bit longer than you would expect?
They went on for another couple minutes, and I was just what? And I think there was a point where Swerve kicked out of something.
He did. He maybe twice.
And I was like, wait, is Lee going to come back down and, completely tear into the Acclaimed? Because that would have made sense, too. If he just had a chair, I didn't want to use the pliers. I wanted to use a chair.
Yeah.
I don't know. Good match, though. The Acclaim eventually hit their finisher on Swerve.
And it looked like they were having a hard time there, too.
Well, because, they're doing the thing where Bowen's shoulders, quote-unquote, hurt.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the idea of the Acclaimed as champions, but with I feel like the FTR and the Bucks just overshadow everyone in that division.
Yeah,
and they make everyone feel like not contenders. Even though I think the tag division should be more teams like Swerve and Our Glory and the Acclaimed.
Yeah. The Acclaimed is getting a ton of TV time though recently, so that's fun.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
the
not
word of
saying
the day,
the Acclaimed aren't like big time. I just feel like FTR and the Young Bucks are so big that like if they were to ever have a match with one of them, it's like, oh, okay, they have
Automatic
to drop those titles.
It's like going up against Demolition or the Heart Foundation. You're done, buddy.
Exactly. So to me, I still think I don't know what to do with that. I mean, because FTR, they're like these. They have the AAA tag titles, the IWGP, the ROH, and I'm expecting them to lose one of them soon. Like, I think they should be starting to drop those titles soon. Personally, like I think they're gonna drop them all starting at AAA in December, January, and then just have those ROH titles because I don't know. It's just everyone's talking like, oh, it needs to be the Acclaimed versus FTR winner take all. But it's like, why?
No, yeah, why? No,
there's no need for it. Like
AAA would never go for that anyway.
Yeah. Can you imagine the Acclaimed in AAA?
Rapping in Spanish.
Caster would figure it out too. Even if he doesn't know the language, he's like, I'll figure it out. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Main event time: MJF versus Jon Moxley. The Devil is crowned. The Devil gets his due because, wow, MJF playing up complete babyface in this match, even coming out and motorboating a woman who was ringside. I don't know what that was about. I'm sure his fiance probably had some thoughts about it.
Yeah, it was definitely a plant, but
oh, definitely. But
I didn't. I'm like, why? All right.
Okay. He comes out. He's like celebrating. Doing like the thing with the fans, like posing with them. Trying to do the whole babyface thing where Moxley's coming out. He's flipping off the fans because he's getting booed out of the building. He's being the ultimate arrogant, cocky asshole. And, like, it was a great match, because Moxley is, like I said, he's playing the heel. He's beating the shit out of MJF. From the start of the match, flipping off the crowd. We get a Falcon Arrow to a Jushi Katami to MJF. And despite MJF always feeling like a little just under all the other stars, he really did come alive in this match. There was just, like, a lot of roads taken where no one know where this match was going to go. And here's the thing, though. When they got those ref bumps, what did everyone do? They look to the back. You know what I mean? Because they expect a run-in now at every fucking time.
I didn't even notice that, but yeah, good point.
So there were 2 ref bumps at the end. Moxley, he has the Bulldog choke on MJF. MJF is tapping, but there's no refs. William Regal's out there. He tells him to check on the refs, and he slips MJF the brass knucks. MJF gets the brass knucks shot on Moxley, and he gets the pin and the win.
And you do.
Yeah, I don't know. It just felt... I was like, okay, cool. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like, what? MJF is champion? What?
MJF is cheating?
Or just like, yeah, fuck yeah, MJF, woo. It was just kind of like, okay, they did that.
Yeah, and we kind of saw it coming.
We did, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it was too predictable at the end of the day.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what I thought. What did you think?
I thought it played out the way it was supposed to, or how you would think it would play out, right? Nothing, advancing the product. It was just what you knew it was going to be. I can't explain it any other way.
Yeah. Well, at the that was AEW Full Gear, and it was a
and that
show.
promo that MJF cut afterwards.
What, in the scrum?
Yeah.
I didn't watch the full scrum, but I did see the clips where he's any questions, fuck off, bye. Thank you, fuck off, bye.
Yeah.
Well, that was AEW Full Gear, and I'm glad you mentioned the scrum because during the scrum, it was announced because as we've been reporting here at City Wrestling Radio, it has now been confirmed that AEW is set to hit the Bay Area in March. And I know they announced some shows earlier this week on Dynamite. It was announced that March 1st and 3rd, AEW Dynamite and Rampage will be going live from from the Daly City Cow Palace. And during the media scrum, it was announced that AEW Revolution, which we reported here weeks ago,
it's no longer a rumor, ladies and gentlemen,
will be at the Chase Center in San Francisco, March 5th. And though, like, those shows, along with West Coast Pro Wrestling announcing a show on March 4th, like, as it's looking, San Francisco is really setting itself up for a huge weekend of pro wrestling. Jose, what are you looking forward to the most here?
Well, I'm looking at my calendar here and see what I have lined up for that weekend. All of a sudden, it's clear. I hit a delete button. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Revolution the most. I think I am going to try to hit up a Cow Palace at least once. So I'll probably do Dynamite at Cow Palace and then Saturday at Chase. Let's go.
See, I was thinking of doing, if I went to Rampage, it would be because go with my girlfriend or something, or like, her dad's an old school wrestling fan, so like maybe, something like that. But like, I'm excited for that whole weekend, and it's going to be a Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. Who knows what other shows are going to get announced for Saturday night? We might have late night. Who knows if Hood Slam is going to perform? We have the possibility of APW, Pro Wrestling Revolution here. So it remains to be seen how much wrestling we're going to have in just the Bay Area that weekend, not to mention that whole, not that whole month, but within a month, less than 30 days later, Southern California is having WrestleMania weekend, April 1st and 2nd. California is going to have, that's probably within 1 month, the biggest wrestling month.
Where's the Rumble this year or next year?
I thought it was in San Antonio again this next year.
Okay, I think you're right.
But to me, it's just, I'm really excited for overall because now I gotta decide, and I would definitely
save your pennies, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, I would definitely rather do AEW Revolution and the shows here than fly down to WrestleMania weekend.
No, totally.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Chase Center, fuck yeah, that's a hop, skip, and a jump from my place. So
Lyft is only $7.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, lifts are hard to get over there. Anyways, let's move on. Stone Cold Steve Austin took to Instagram earlier this week. He wanted to talk about, a lot of people were saying, "Oh, Austin, you're getting in this great shape. Why are you working out so hard?" So he took to Twitter or to Instagram to kind of talk about why he's been working out so hard, and this is what he had to say.
Yeah, people have been speculating, "Hey, Steve, what are you doing? What are you training for? Are you training for an event?" Hey, you can speculate what you want for. I just simply looked in the mirror and realized I looked like shit, so I called my diet coach up, and my macros are currently, give or take, roughly around 2650 calories, 320 grams of protein, 150 grams of carbs on a regular day. We'll spike at 420 on a load up. I still drink beer on Friday nights, get 3 Broken Skull IPAs, and that's pretty much it. I'm probably, as far as body weight goes, sub 232, leanest I've been in, forever.
Wow. So, to me, why would he be keeping such good track of every single thing? Jose?
Sorry.
You know what I mean? It's why would you be keeping track of all? We're still figuring out this Riverside thing. Okay, don't worry about it, Jose.
It's a work in progress. Yeah, because I look like shit. Because I had to call my diet coach.
Because WWE called me and I got to get in shape by WrestleMania weekend. And
Well, gee, Trips gave me a call.
Yeah. So I mean, personally speaking, Jose, Austin is having. I think Austin's having a match. If he is at Mania, who will he face? Who do you think he's going to face? Or who?
3 options.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens.
Didn't they do that last year?
Austin Theory. Or The Rock.
I think Rock's an actually good possibility because it would be an easier match for him. But I think they would go the Austin Theory route, personally speaking.
Right.
But one person, let's move on. One person who is pretty certain on his in-ring return is, well, the former Ring of Honor and WWE Cruiserweight Champion, the Pitbull himself, Jamie Noble. He's going to be coming back to the ring. He also hit the gram on Saturday night to announce that he will be performing at a WWE house show in Charleston, West Virginia. He said, "It's official!" On December 11th at the Charleston Civic Center in West Virginia, I will compete for possibly my last time in wrestling under the greatest company of all time, WWE. It has been roughly 11 years since I was forced out of the ring. Now I'm going to have one more opportunity in front of my people, my state, my family. I promise you I will walk out a winner, or I will go out on my shield giving the best performance I can. All the support I can get is greatly appreciated.
He should totally bring out Nadia?
Nidia.
That's
what I was going to say.
Come back.
You took it right out of my mouth. I would have loved to.
Sorry.
But, Jose, we're seeing, like I said, we talked about this earlier. Sting, Noble, Saraya, Jarrett, Danielson. These are all people that, stepped away from the ring, and now they're coming back. A lot of people who thought would never wrestle again. And, yeah, you said, Jarrett never really left. But a lot of those other people, Flair's fucking how old? He wrestled. Saraya,
he's not going away.
Life-ending neck injury. Not life-ending, sorry.
Whoa.
Almost life-ending. Neck injury. Definitely wasn't life-ending. And if it was, she looks good for a dead person.
Let's knock on wood.
But, what do you think is causing, all these people to just all of a sudden come back?
Nanotechnology. Doctors have discovered nanotechnology. No, I'm not too sure. I think, it's a house of cards. Once one person comes, everybody collapses on it. So, TBD.
Then we move on to Kenny Omega. He, one person who's already made his in-ring return, we talked about earlier, is Kenny Omega. As noted earlier in the show, he has returned to AEW following the backstage debacle with CM Punk. But he's not done making returns, actually, as a matter of fact, because Kenny Omega is set to return to New Japan Pro Wrestling. That's right, the Cleaner will return to the company for Wrestle Kingdom 17 to take on Will Ospreay. Omega announced the match in a video package at the New Japan Stardom historic crossover event to challenge Ospreay. Now, Omega did say in the video in fluent Japanese that that there was no reason to stay in New Japan after AEW was created, and the company replaced them with Ospreay, a cheap Omega ripoff. He blamed Ospreay for the lack of cheering in New Japan crowds and said he was the real virus. I do love because fans couldn't cheer in New Japan. They weren't allowed to because of COVID. And I love he's like, well, everyone says they're a virus, but I don't think that's what it is, Ospreay.
Yeah.
You fucking heel. Jose, in my opinion, Wrestle Kingdom and kind of New Japan overall has been a little lackluster, and I've said this before, since the Elite have left for AEW and a lot of others leaving for AEW. Does Omega's return make Wrestle Kingdom can't miss show now, or what do you think?
Why does it feel like this is a completely different person? Why does it feel like AEW Kenny Omega is different from New Japan Kenny Omega? Do you ever get that sense?
Oh, I do all the time,
Right? Like he's a different person when he's over there as opposed to when he's here. I don't know if it's his own self-imposed restrictions, but Kenny Omega Japan is way better than Kenny Omega America. United States.
Absolutely. No, he's way more vicious. I mean, he speaks fluent Japanese.
Dude,
but I mean, I think
just watching that, the visual of that was awesome.
I think he's just more of he knows the audiences.
Mm-hmm.
He knows what each kind of audience wants. And
well, I want some Japan Kenny Omega in the United States.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
that's just me.
I mean, I think we'll get more of that as soon as we get more Kenny Omega as he's back full time.
I'm down. Yeah. He looked really crisp and fresh this week. I'll tell you that.
As Elton John says, the bitch is back. So We're good. All right. So before we leave, Jose,
Yes.
War Games.
Here it is.
War Games!
We started the show. Regal helped MJF, but next it's War Games. Let's take a look at this in-depth card. So I love how AEW there's like 20 fucking matches. War Games there's 4 matches announced.
So far announced.
I love it.
Because the Raw title is on the line. It has to be on the line too, right?
The women's title?
No, the Raw title. The United States Championship.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
call that the Raw title now.
who holds it now? Isn't it?
Seth.
It's still Rollins, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I didn't watch this Monday, but I think so.
Okay, so we got a couple matches announced. We've got a singles match, something I asked for a couple weeks ago. We get AJ Styles against Finn Balor. It's gonna be a
Dude,
fun
if they go New Japan on this pay-per-view, dude, it's going to be the match of the night.
Ronda Rousey versus Shotzi for the SmackDown Women's title, which
No way Shotzi wins, right?
no way. Bloodline versus the Brawling Brutes, Drew McIntyre and Kevin Owens. I mean,
I don't know how I feel about that.
I think the faces are going to win this match because why not? There's no titles on the line. They've been winning for weeks and weeks and weeks. You got Kevin Owens on one side. You got Sami Zayn on the other. A lot of people are talking like maybe they'll get back together. Maybe they'll be the one to take the tag titles off the Usos.
The Catalyst.
You know, we got WrestleMania coming up, so this could be the start of it. And then the women's War Game match, which, you know, has a little bit of interesting thing going on. So we got Damage Control, the team of Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky, Nikki Cross, and Rhea Ripley taking on Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Mia Yim, and TBD. So, the one thing I wanted to talk about is this TBD. There's a photo out there, a video or a poster out there of the women's team, and the TBD person isn't just like a graphic of some vacant person. It's a real person with a hood on, and you see a little bit of blue hair come out. Just a slight bit of blue hair. My two guesses are, and everyone's going to assume the first one, Sasha Banks.
Yep.
And the second one, though, might sound crazy, AJ Lee. She recently dyed her hair blue. She has been talking about making a comeback slowly into wrestling. She's been working at WoW for how many months now? Probably the past couple years, you know, as one of the, I think the head writer or one of the bookers. But those are my two guesses to who it could be.
I don't have a guess. I don't really have interest in this match.
Come on, you don't want to see the women's War Game match?
It's almost like automatic that's Sasha Banks, right? To me,
Oh, it is in Boston, isn't it?
unless it's Naomi.
I think it's in Boston, so it's like her home. It's where she's from. Anyways, let's get out of here, Jose. I don't know why
It's
I
a
keep
wrap.
my hands up in the air, but there you go. City Wrestling Radio. Let's get out of here until next week. We'll watch Survivor Series, though, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. The nostalgia of it. AJ and fucking Finn.
And War Game's going to be fun either way. That Bloodline match is going to be great.
Yeah.
Let's get out of here. For City Wrestling Radio, I'm Korey Smith,
Jose Ocegueda.
and we'll see you next week. Take care. Have a great day. Goodbye.
Yeah, boy.